Welcome to the pre-event interview that's leading up to the Legend Fires Northwest Stages 2024. And in this episode, we've actually got Clive, who's part of the organising team, which is going to be a really interesting and very insightful and probably educational interview, especially for me, because behind the scenes, there's an army of people working so hard to achieve what this event is, which is basically one of the most successful closed road rallies of Great Britain. And for this year, the 2024 edition, it's a round of the British Rally Championship. So there's no higher accolade from an organising team's point of view. We've got one of the main men to chat with us. Usually, I must say, these organisers don't spend much time in the limelight, but this man doesn't mind that. So Clive, first of all, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you and what's your job title on this occasion?
Hi, Kev. Thanks for that introduction. My name's Clive Molyneux. I'm one of the deputy clerks of the course on the Legend Fires Northwest Stages Rally.
It's a shout out from you as the clerk of course to people who want to come and spectate, where you should go and watch and how you should best get involved in the rally. And I can quickly say that you definitely need to make life easy for yourself. And whilst there's still spaces on the official parking at the Wild Boar Park, which you'll find on the website, if there are places there available, take that opportunity because it makes life really easy. It's well worth every penny that you spend with the local economy because you get toilets, facilities, cafes, all sorts. If that's full, then Clive, give us an answer. How do people best get involved on the day if they just decide, oh, I'd like to go and spectate? Where would you like them to go?
Go to the Legend Fires Northwest Stages website, spectator link, scroll down, you can buy tickets online there. And your tickets for the Wild Boar Park will give you access to other spectator areas such as Nicky Nook. So it gives you the option to move around. We've also got 3 stages where you can turn up and pay on the day. That's stage Long Knots, stage 2, stage 3, Crosskill, and stage 5, Nicky Nook. Again, all the locations are on the website with all the instructions on how to get there and where to park up.
Yeah, and that's brilliant to know. So you don't need to prepay for parking. Obviously, the ones that have will get a preference, but we can cater for literally hundreds of more cars turning up with literally thousands of people at those designated areas. So the only thing I'd shout out, and this is from previous rallies, is that people that think, probably a bit like myself, we're very experienced in competitions. I'll just turn up and I'll find somewhere to go and spectate of my own. Really don't think like that, because if anything puts these rallies under threat, it's trespass and causing a nuisance to the locals. So it's really, really important that on these closed road rallies, you don't go wandering through a farmer's field and finding your own place, but that you do follow the majority and everything that's designated to you from the organiser's point of view. You really must follow the organisers' routes and go to where the organisers tell you where it's safe, mainly, first of all, and then where they can help organise. And even simple things like tidy up the litter afterwards. Ideally, you tidy up your own litter, but if you just randomly go to places and leave litter, that will more or less seal the end of this type of rallying. So do the responsible thing, follow what the organisers tell you to do, and turn up to the official spectating areas. I'm sure you'll second that, Clive, but...
Absolutely, Kev. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that does threaten the future of this rally and other rallies are spectators, as you just outlined, Kev, making their way to points that aren't the official spectator points, maybe going on land that they shouldn't be going on to access them. And there's nothing worse for the rally than having irate farmers, irate residents, where people have trampled across the land. So yeah, just to echo what Kev says, please do use the designated spectator areas, and as always, follow the instructions of the marshals that are on duty there.
Yeah, and on a really positive side from a spectating point of view, we've got Friday night and Marscoll College as well. So from 12 o'clock, you can go to the college, watch scrutineering and see all the teams down there where they're at the service halt. They'll be there all the way through Saturday and all the way through Friday. So you'll see the teams. There has been displays or the things on displays there to entertain the public. But then from 7 o'clock, the ceremonial start at Garstang is phenomenal. And that's really easy spectating, brilliant to take kids. There's big giant screens that have been provided by Skiddle as a sponsor, which is fantastic. And really, you know, good things, PA systems, the drivers are up for it. All the cars will come over the ceremonial start, and it's really good fun, really accessible. So, and I've got friends that I've recommended that can't make the Saturday for various reasons. I said, still come down and see it at Garstang. It's amazing. And the shops are brilliant. It's carnival atmosphere. And if you're interested in motorsport and want to bring somebody for the first time, there's nothing easier. It's really easy public parking. You can go and get involved with motorsport for the first time. Okay, there's no action, but you get closer to the cars and drivers than you would whilst they're competing. So that's a really nice event to go and look at. And whoever's idea that, if that was Dave Reed's, then, you know, God bless you, but you thought of something brilliant there, because it's really set the standard for rallying, and hence I think the British Rally Championship have taken advantage of that, and those drivers are going to see something really special at Garstang. Anything you'd like to wrap up on?
Well, I just on the Garstang thing, the first time I went to Garstang was in 2022 for the Friday night start. I was totally blown away with what was going on there. It was absolutely outstanding. It was fantastic. The atmosphere was unbelievable. Steel bands playing, marching the cars down the street. It was phenomenal, absolutely superb. Well worth a visit if you've got time on a Friday night, definitely.
And Chris Ingram said something in the interview yesterday, which is he spent all his rallying life trying to go across Europe and do the World Rally Championship for that type of carnival atmosphere, and how warm he felt that actually the British Championship is going to be just like it is in Europe, with a sort of rally central village, thousands of people coming to spectate and give well wishes, and it's finally back. You know, it wasn't available to him when he first started his rally in 18, 19 years old in the British Championship, but it's back. It's going to be thrilling, and it'll be really exciting to get involved. So, Clive, this brings us to the end of the podcast. However, this is a bit of a false end, because I'm going to put the first start of our interview in now, so you can enjoy that, learn a little bit more about rallying, understand what a clerk of course offers, and the organising structure in detail on the rally. So enjoy that, but also enjoy spectating, and we look forward to meeting you on the rally.
Been involved with the rally for a good few years now, competed quite a few times with Nigel Worswick. In 2019, Dave Reed asked me to join not the organising team, but be on the outskirts of the organising team, and run around in the car 000, checking the stage setups. And then with the sad passing of Dave, I became more involved in 2022 and became deputy clerk of the course, primarily looking at and designing the route and the stages and all the timing that goes along with that.
I'll definitely ask you some questions about the timing, with the structure of the event, some of the stages, the character of what we've got to offer as an event, but also your history in being clerk, of course, and helping organise rallies. There's also a couple of other rallies you've been heavily involved in where people might know you, which is from a competitor point of view. So, yeah, first of all, what drives you to want to be a clerk, of course? What is it? And just give me a quick insight to the other events you've been involved in.
Okay, so it's a good question. What drives you to be clerk of the course on an event? The previous event I was clerk of the course on was the Tour of Mull Rally. I've got the dubious accolade of being the longest standing clerk of the course of the Tour of Mull Rally. I did it for 10 years. I think Nigel Worswick came a close second with 8 years. But I was clerk of the course from 2000 to 2010. Took over from Nigel when he stood down, and previously I was assistant clerk of the course to Nigel Worswick during his tenure.
Lovely. from a hierarchy point of view, where does Clerk of Course fit into the event itself? So just give me an idea of a pyramid of responsibility.
Well, the clerk, I'm a deputy clerk of the course for the Legend Fires North West Stages. The clerk of the course is Jerry Morris. Jerry, as clerk of the course, has overall responsibility for the whole of the event, the whole of the running and organisation of the event. Alongside Jerry, in helping him to do that, is the Motorsport UK steward in rally control, and various other people like the event safety officer, and a whole host of tracking systems and radio systems that keep Jerry very much in line with how the event's running and how the individual stages are running.
And then a name that many of us will know locally, Pat Marchbank. How does Pat fit into the organising team?
Pat is a deputy clerk of the course like me. She looks after every aspect of the event, from helping me out with the route and the timings to the commercial side of things, sponsorship. She gets spectator arrangements. She's printing of all the documentation that goes with the event. She's got a massive role and performs it extremely well.
I think the way that I've summed up Clerk of Courses and you guys as organisers, I've known all of you for many years, but I always think of it this way: as a competitor and somebody, even as a spectator, you look at an event, how it's running, and people get quite smart and wise themselves when they stood at the side of a stage or they competed. They say, I'll tell you what this rally should do. These people should do this, whatever it is, and they didn't organise this, and they should do this thing better. And then I, like many others, actually don't ever end up doing much myself, although I do my media things, but not as far as organising events is concerned. I always feel guilty that I'm one of those that join in saying how things should be run, and then you have to stand up and do the work. And it's a fantastic effort by, I'm complimenting everybody behind Northwest Stages, yourself and Pat and everybody, that people I don't even know who are doing great sterling work in doing it. But I also, and in fact, there's no but, that's a terrible word to use in that circumstance. What I'd like to say on the back of that is you are pulling off some amazing things and really inspirational as far as rallying is concerned. I'm so chuffed that the British Rally Championship have recognised it, in that what's happening at Garstein, the link with my school college is fantastic. We know, being locals, that you've managed to pull off a route and the character of the roads, which is amazing. But I'll just say, what are you most proud of, and yeah, how were you brave enough to even start a ceremonial start in Garstein, because it's not the obvious choice?
A huge amount of the event, the way it runs today, is down to Dave Reed. He had the foresight to progress a closed road rally in Lancashire. The route that we're running currently is pretty much what Dave designed back in for the rally in 2022. We have changed it slightly this year. We've added a new stage up at Crossgill, and we've lengthened two of the stages, Nicky Nook and Beacon Fell. We've squeezed a little bit more mileage out of those, but the 99.9% of the credit has got to go to Dave Reed and his foresight in seeing the possibility of a closed road rally in Lancashire and making it come to fruition. We're just carrying on Dave's good work, really.
And it's nice to obviously give a nod out to Dave. And I remember Nigel saying years ago that Dave Reed's got a vision of bringing a little bit of Europe and Europe style, the international rallies that we all love in Europe, to England. And very much I can say, working closely with East Riding Stages, they've wanted to do exactly the same type of thing: ceremonial start, bring the whole community into it. And eventually we got the Road Closure Act working on our side. I know you were personally involved in that on a very deep level with Mull. So what is it? I mean, it seems to be working out well, doesn't it? I didn't know how it would go to get a Road Closure Act together, but it seems to be okay.
It's working well. you've got to comply with a lot of the regulations that Motorsport UK laid out to get the thing off the ground. It's not a simple task. There's a lot of legwork in doing it. But yeah, when the legislation was passed, it opened up a whole new aspect to stage rallying in the UK. We're no longer stuck to the forests. We can close roads and rally on decent, good tarmac roads. Which
I'll ask you
is
about the
something.
stages because you know the stages more than most.
Yeah.
I guess everybody will be wondering, what sort of challenges do you face when you're organising this type of rally? You say that you've extended some of the stage distances. Again, it seems easy. It's, well, just add a bit more mileage, but I know behind the scenes, you only need one local resident who isn't over keen on it, and that person could stop a stage if you don't get the full support of the locals. So, you know, a big, massive thank you and shout out to any of the local residents who are supporting the event.
Yeah, massive shout out and thank you to the residents. What I tried to look at when we were trying to get some more mileage out of the event for 2024 was use the existing route and add something on the end of it or another loop within that stage. But you've got to be conscious that you're not going through overly congested areas, villages. You try and plan the route around sort of roads that aren't heavily or densely populated. So that's got its limitations as well. So you've got to pick and choose. Yeah, and then you've also got to make sure that you're not locking communities in. I mean, households are locked in for the duration of the event, but what you don't want to be doing is locking a whole community in for 12 hours of the day with a short break at lunchtime, and you can get in and out. So yeah, you've got to pay attention to all those things. Yeah, and inevitably, not everybody accepts it or welcomes it. They are the absolute minority who don't agree, who don't want it to happen. But we're lucky with the North West stages because we get absolutely superb support from all the people. 99% of the people on all the stages. It's amazing, really.
I mean, we do go through a lot of countryside that's also used to running events. You know, if we start thinking about county shows and that type of thing, a lot of this rural community needs footfall, needs local spend, and an event like this can literally bring millions of pounds to the event. I know Garstang itself, this is the biggest live event that they have of the whole year. So, yeah, what we can bring as a rallying community, the spectators as well, as long as they're orderly, behave themselves and bring something to the event, you know, spend money locally and don't be a nuisance, then everybody's welcome because the locals need your support. Many of these rural businesses see a great boost over the rally weekend. So is that your general feedback that you're getting, that the locals understand that?
Absolutely, Kev. Yeah, I mean, it's not just rally weekend as well, because competitors come up from all over the UK and they go around the route doing the recce beforehand. And it really is one of the nicest parts of the UK. It's fantastic. And I'm sure just by doing that, it'll bring them back to, you know, with the families for weekends away. So it's not just the effect that the rally has on the communities during the weekend of the rally. It spreads on throughout the year that people come back and revisit and bring their friends. So it's a whole 12-month cycle of extra spending.
Yeah, and I've seen stats like that on different events where people had actually come back years after competing because they brought the family, took the children back. The rally on the Wirral, we have some data to be able to prove that people were going to New Brighton for holidays that they wouldn't have gone to otherwise. And I've done it myself. You know, we go somewhere like Cockermouth to watch Grisdale rally, and for years and years afterwards, even when the rally's not on, we still part of the tourist trade because we love that area. And that is the same as Garstang. I've actually been in Garstang for a drink, and we've not, and I wouldn't have called into Garstang, but having that positive feeling and thinking, actually, it's quite a nice village. I'll go back and I'll stop off on my journey to the Lake District and call in and just have a drink. So obviously there's big benefits. What's your favourite stage? So for people that don't know the rally, where would you say you're, as a competitor, what do you think gives us the most challenge and reward?
For me, I've got to say Crosskill, because that's the stage that we've not run before. I identified it as being a potential good stage. We worked on it and looked at various options of the route round Crosskill. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that is accepted by the drivers. I'm sure they'll love it. To me, it's a fantastic stage. Starts off really, really fast on some good wide open roads. A fairly technical bit in the middle with some really challenging tight twisty bits, and a pretty much impossible uphill hairpin left in the middle, and then it finishes on some back out on some really fast open roads again. So as a competitor, it's the sort of stage I loved. And in the middle of it as well, there's a little half mile section of open moorland road as well, which I think that's fantastic rally stage. Makes a fantastic rally stage.
Another characteristic that I love and quite proud of is that competitors get to drive down some of the most beautiful Ribble Valley countryside between stages, don't they? And I remember the comment from last time the rally run that one or two of my friends had gone spectating, and they said, "Oh, we had a great day, the spectating." And then they started to say things like, "Oh, and some of the competitors stopped and waved at the kids, and somebody, signed an autograph." I'm like, "Where did you go and watch?" And it was actually at the bottom of Troffer Bowland. So
really?
they never even saw a competitive stage, but they were just thrilled with the rally cars driving past on a road section. And it reminded me that the Troff's beautiful in it. If we could ever compete on that road,
it's it will make an absolutely fantastic stage, Kev. Yeah, I'm sure you've been up and down there many times on night rallies, haven't you? But the Troff, Live Fell, Gisborne Forest, Bowland Knots, they're all potential. Whether we could ever pull it off and run them as stages, yet to be seen. But it would be. I know it was always Dave's dream to run his rally, and I still refer to it as his rally through the Trough of Bowland. He would have absolutely loved that.
Yeah, would be awesome, and an awesome tribute to him.
I certainly haven't given up on it yet, but
something to look forward to. A quick check out before we wrap things up, which is marshalling, critical to the running of the event. Hopefully some marshals are watching this and people that volunteer, and they get my heartfelt thank you for everything you've allowed me to do in motorsport. Events like this obviously can't run without people volunteering, but I'd also say that from a positive point of view, this is a cracking event to come and marshal on, because you get definitely the best vantage points, and you get a few advantages that you are a marshal, and you maybe especially if you're marshalling in a live stage, you'll have some of the best spectating that anybody can get, because many of the stage viewing points are remote. So if somebody's thinking of coming spectating or marshalling, I'd heavily encourage people to contact the organisers, look on the website, and come back marshalling if you haven't, if you've been doing it in the past, or recruit brand new people to marshalling. If you're not up to what you think might be needed in a stage, there's many other opportunities to volunteer and give your time and help the rally run, and get to know more about motorsport. Is there anything that you'd like to say, Clive, from a marshalling point of view?
It's got to be a big thank you to all the guys that turn out, stand there all day and do the job. We're lucky. I think we end up with, we need somewhere in the region of 500 marshals to run the event. We're pretty much up. The figures are almost there. We've nearly got them. But if you are interested in coming along, we will find you a job. That is absolutely nailed on. We can never have enough marshals. go to the website. All the links and the contacts are all there on the website, and you will be seeing if you marshal on a stage, you will be seeing the best of British rallying, because the entry fee, the entry for this year's event is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's
in
one
fact,
of
I've argued with other drivers in recent podcasts that this is probably, in fact, Nigel summed it up and said this is the most significant rallying since the last time Rally GB ran, and you can't argue with that. I think it's the best lineup of drivers and cars that maybe the BRC has ever seen in its history. Because you can go back to the heydays of, say, Roger Clark and, you know, Russell Brooks, Jimmy McRae, but I don't think we ever had 50 cars capable of winning the rally outright, even back in the day.
Absolutely. I'm glad in a way that the Motorsport UK this year have upped the average speed allowed on stages from 75 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour, and I really think we're going to need that extra 5 miles an hour this year, because some of the drivers that we've got competing in the event will be well up there on stage times, I'm sure.